Hi, guys. You're very welcome along. This is Alpha Omega live from our studio here in Bangkok, and it's great to have you along. I had a bit of trouble setting up this stream earlier on, but I intended to go live earlier, but because of I don't know what it is, YouTube are looking for streaming keys and all this kind of thing. And I didn't know what the hell they were talking about, but it's good to have you. So let me know where you are. I just want to say it's a happy new year to all of you. This is an unscheduled stream. Let me know if the audio is okay, because that's the problem I had selecting the microphone. I'm using a different microphone now than the one we normally use. The one we normally use is up in Pontutini. So we're kicking off the new year with a new sound and not necessarily a new look. If you're watching the video I put up there today, we were up fishing. Her family were fishing by hand in a canal in Klong Lawang. Let me know what the picture is like. Let me know who you are, where you're from, what you're doing. Well, you don't have to let me know what you're doing. Anyway, this is what I'm doing. First one today. Wow. I couldn't do a live stream without a Leo, because Leo is my friend. As you know that. Leo is my friend in Thailand. But look, you guys are all my friends as well. I hope you had a great time last night. Let me know what you did. I mean, what I did was I was up in Pontutini with the family. There was another family across the way having a kind of a party. We went over there, myself and Harry, sat down. They tried to get me to get up and sing a bit of karaoke, which I declined respectably. And boy, was I glad this morning that I did decline that, because they'd only love to see a Farang getting up and making a fool of himself. I mean, that's as true as God. It's true as God. And they're nice people, but they love to have the token Farang around. They really do. You know, if around there, if they can get a Farang into the house party, it's one up. It's one up on them, keeping up with the Joneses. I wonder, is the chat working? I'm gonna send a message in the chat to see if it's working. Let's go hi. There we go. Yeah, the chat's working. So we're in Bangkok. Bangkok is starting to fill up again. Coming down today from, and man, hello man, how are you? It's good to have you along. Bangkok is beginning to fill up again. It emptied out completely. As I said this in a couple of my videos, Bangkok is a primate city. It's the best example of a primate city anywhere in the world, and it was emptied out over the last week. It was emptying out. But this evening, coming back, the banks are open again tomorrow. The schools are open again tomorrow, and people are starting to come back in. I was talking to one of the girls, one of the ladies who runs one of the massage parlors. She sent me a Happy New Year message online, and she said she'd like to see me again soon. And I said, when would you like to see me doing a video, doing a promote? This is Dragonheart. Hello, Chill Will. Happy New Year. Watching you, or wishing you prosperous and happy and healthy New Year. The same to you. The same to you, sir. It's good to have you. But as I was saying, I was speaking to her online. I said, when do you want me to come in and do another video for Dragonheart? Because the last video and big picture of panorama that I did in Dragonheart Massage, I think it's got over 150,000 views so far. And it did very well for her. And she said to me tonight, no point in coming over the next few days. All the girls have gone home. So if you're in Sukhumvit around this time, I haven't been. I've never been in Sukhumvit around New Year's because I have the family. But if you're in Sukhumvit around this time, this is a heads up. A lot of the girls just go home, and I just that's the feedback I get from the people who own massage parlors there. Seal the deal. Happy New Year to you. It's good to have you around. 22 people in the house. There we go. This is 23. Leo, he's in the house as well. But this is my first one tonight. I'm going to have to do something about the Leo thing going forward, because I'm 60 years old, and I did a live stream last night on the big picture from Klong Lawang, similar to this, but in a different place, obviously. And I was drinking a lot of Leo. I drank a lot of Leo last night. And when I got up this morning, she wanted to go shopping. God damn. I mean, that was, geez, you know yourself. I had about 12 cans of Leo, went to bed about 2 o'clock in the morning. She was up at the crack of dawn. I got up about 9:30 and she got me up, and Harry got me up, and he says, Dad, we're going shopping. That's the worst thing you could possibly hear after a nice drinking. We're going shopping. But shopping we went. See the other day, how did you feel about a society where women take on more leadership and influence? How do you feel about a society? Yeah, a society. Um, I think that there's a lot of places in the world, but Thailand's slightly different. Thailand's still kind of old world in that way. Although there's a lot of women in power. My wife is a senior manager. There's a lot of women in power in Thailand, but essentially it's still a very alpha male. I wouldn't say alpha male, but it's a very male dominated society. If I was in a society where women were the dominant, I'd say it would probably take the pressure off us. It would. And, I suppose that in the West, feminism, the feminism is a lot stronger. This is how I'll answer that question. Feminism in the West is a lot stronger, is a thing. Feminism isn't a thing in Thailand. Girls don't get upset if you ask them how old they are. Girls don't get upset or offended if you ask them, do they have a boyfriend? But a European girl or an American or a Western girl, let's say, would. Colin Campbell, Happy New Year. No booze for me anymore. I'm 68. It'll catch up with you. Sorry, but the reality is 12 cans of Leo is a lot to put away. Yeah, I agree with you. And that's what I was thinking this morning, to not knock it on the head, but to curtail it. But since I'm doing a live stream, I said, shag it. I bought a rake of cans up there. I bought 2 trays of about 48 cans of Leo. 1,200 baht, about 600 baht a tray. And I didn't go through them all. I had 12. So I brought down half of the tray that I started. The other one's up in Pontiutini. And there's 12 cans in the fridge. There's 11 there now. But I'm not going to go crazy. I just brought them down because I left them up there. Her family would drink them. So literally I had to take them out. The other 24 cans, they were in the fridge. I took them out of the fridge, brought them into the bedroom where it's private, so they're not going to go in there. But if I left them in the fridge, they take them. And that's what they do. Jay Easy, back to Bangkok. Yeah, back in Bangkok. Back in Pontiutini on Friday. She's having another party up there on Friday. So we're going up on Friday. I have to bring Harry up as soon as I pick him up from school, and I have to go up in my car and she'll go up in her car separately. And the reason is we're coming back on Sunday and I take her mother and her brother-in-law and my brother-in-law and his wife and their kid in my car because we can't fit all their kit, including her wheelchair, in her car. So she's going to take a bit of the kit and I have to take them. And as you know, they never utter a word of thanks or acknowledgement. Did you enjoy the freshly caught? No, I didn't. Did you see the video where they put it on the corrugated iron, the dirty corrugated iron? That they had gutted that fish or whatever they did, and took the heads off and the tails off, which is unusual for Thais. They normally just eat them as they are. But they were very small and they were sitting on that piece of corrugated iron in the sun. They were drying it. There's no way. I'm not a big fish person. I eat sushi. I eat salmon, smoked salmon. I eat tuna. I eat anchovies. But I might eat a bit of crab or lobster or prawns or shrimp. But general seafood I steer clear of, especially out of that canal. And that was a canal. And it was overgrown, and they were cutting down the weeds with a machete or whatever, a sai or whatever it was, and it didn't look very appetizing. It was just, but they'll eat it. Of course they'll eat it. Of course they did. I didn't eat it. Tony Waterman, he's such an article. Who, me or my brother-in-law? Because that's the guy who greets me like this. That's I can guarantee that's exactly the way he treats me. I had parked the car the other day when I got up there, and there was a guy kind of cut the grass with this big industrial strimmer, huge thing. Had a big motor on it, and it's a big blade, huge big thing. And the brother-in-law wanted me to move the car across the driveway so it wouldn't get sprayed up by the grass being cut. And he went like this. And I said, put prasatai. I knew he was going to say, put prasatai, you fool. But he didn't. I said, pump put prasa Thai, and I've been telling him that for the last 12 years, and he still ignores me and goes, and that's why I call him an imbecile. Jay-Z, Dave's bus and taxi service. Yeah, I am for the mother. But you see, I get a lot from her. I mean, that's her house up there. So, I'm on the pig's back, and I have to give back something, Jay, he's saying you're a monkey with his greed. Yeah, he is. He has never left Thailand. He's never been out of Thailand. He's semi-literate. I won't go into too much detail. And he doesn't speak a word of English. His kid, he's married twice. He has a kid 3 years old. He's the same age as me, and his wife is 36. She's from Myanmar. And they were sitting out under a tree in the shade. Harry was with him, and I just jokingly said, Harry, teach her a bit of English. And I said it in Thai. Harry, son prasa Angrid, lug. Teach that child a bit of English. And he said, like that. He's such an ignoramus. But our other brothers are really nice. I mean, I get on with them all, the more educated ones, but he's an absolute buffoon. I'm interested. Best wishes for the year ahead to everyone. Yes, to everybody. We've 43 people in the house. It's great to have you along. Happy New Year, Angry Pants Making Good. Happy New Year to you. John Paul. Hello, John Paul. Happy New Year. Great last vlog. It looks like a different world up in the country. It is a different world up there. It's a completely different world. And it's not a place most Farang would reside, especially me. I can manage the house because we're near a village, Tlonglawang village. There's a 7-Eleven, and you can drink on the street with the locals up there. But that place we're in today, no way, Jose. Jay-Z, have you ever heard him speak any Thai or only? Yeah, he speaks Thai to everybody else, but he doesn't speak Thai to me. He's the only person I've ever met in Thailand who's that ignorant. He just literally grunts. One of these days, I'll get him on video. And he's just such an ignoramus. Free your mind. Mr. Angry Pants, love your videos, mate. I think me and you have a bit in common. 17 years living here, and I got exactly where you are. I get exactly where you're coming from. Well, I'm 12 years now here. Came here in 2013. It'll be 12 years in February. And I just, a lot of things anger me. A lot of things I get pleasure out of, and you can see that on the big picture. That's a completely different channel. But this channel affords me the opportunity to vent, and to vent I do. And FBI CPS, do you ever worry that Harry will turn out a bit, clowny, given his exposure to some of the relatives? He doesn't have, well, he does. He's getting a bit of exposure, but minimal. He spends most of his time here with me in Bangkok. I bring him to school. I collect him from school. She doesn't come home till 8 o'clock or so. And he watches a lot of YouTube. He has an American accent because of YouTube. But his exposure to them, it doesn't really have an influence, or it hasn't had an influence. Harry's not ignorant. Harry is more worldly than our brother, that particular one, because he's never been out of the country. And he doesn't want his child to learn English, because he was grunting when I suggested that Harry teach his kid a bit of English. Colin Campbell, hello. It's cold grey afternoon in the UK, and already getting dark, but it's okay. As you know, we're used to it. It'll have to be a warm, sunny day in Bangkok. It has to be a warm, but does the weather matter that much? The weather here to me matters, yeah. It was obviously a warm, sunny day here, but the weather, yeah, I'm here for the weather. The weather is one of the main, as most Westerners coming here, the weather is a key factor. I mean, it really is. I mean, to be honest, that's the main reason that I'm here. It's not for the culture. It's definitely not for the culture. It's not for the food. The food is okay. It's okay, but they were offering me somtam today. I don't eat somtam. Somtam is so overrated. So overrated. I think the Thai food is generally okay, but it's quite overrated. Give me a taco, give me a burrito, give me a chicken tikka masala. You know what I mean? Chill Will. You do a lot for your son and family, dropping off and picking up the kids are typically mum roles in the West. I do the same and can relate. Okay, well, see, I do that because I work from home and she's in the bank, and I have to adjust my schedule around that, which is something I do gladly. But at 60 years old, it's not something that I signed up for. And I made videos about that. I'm just going to click onto something here as we're talking. I just want to remind you that we have, I have a buy me a coffee link. And what I do on the big picture, I usually mention that. On the streams. The reason I mention it is because the views on the big picture are on the floor. I mean, literally on the floor. And one of the main parts of my revenue comes from buy me a coffee. And that's one of the things that I kind of mention a lot about. And I don't want to be mentioning that all the time because it probably gets boring. But as I said, I do me bit, and I always say if you can give me a dig out, because this thing, by the way, is a brand new microphone. There's the link for buy me a coffee if you're interested. This is a brand new microphone. This cost me in the States, on the videos I watch in the States, it's $30. It cost me $150 here the other day. I had to buy a UPS, that's a universal power supply. I've one here, and I had to buy a new one for Pontutini. So it just goes. The money goes. Jay-Z, countdown has started. Arrive in a few weeks. Well, I hope to see you, Jay. I hope to see you. We'll have a couple of Leos. As I said, I shouldn't be doing too much more of these. I was just going to go to bed. And I said, well, I did a live stream on the big picture for New Year. Excuse me. And I didn't do anything for Alpha. So I said I would. So here we are. And, they're going down very well. They weren't going down that well last night. I don't know what it was. Oh, yeah, I had a bit to eat yesterday up there because she's always cooking. I had a bit to eat. I got chicken. I have an oven, and I bought some chicken, or she bought it for me. Big legs, like half the side of a chicken leg thing. And I mixed a bit of spices that were up there, and I covered it with oil, and I covered it with garlic and onions, salt and pepper. Put it into my Tefal oven, and left it in there for about 70 or 80 minutes or whatever on a slow. Oh my God, was it ever delicious? And none of them ate it because they looked at the imbecile looked at the oven, and it's been there for a long time, but I haven't used it for ages, and he probably didn't even notice it. He looked at the oven and go, like that. Like, what is this? He'd never seen an oven. And when I first got it, they thought it was a big microwave. I'm serious. You see, I'm not talking about Thai people in general. I'm talking about her family are so traditional and so narrow-minded. They are so, not all of them, but two or three, they were so traditional and narrow-minded. They didn't know what an oven was. That's, for me, I get most of my anger on this channel from interaction with a couple of her brothers. I mean, one of them was drinking Leo before he set off. In the video today, I showed you, he was drinking Leo before he drove back down to Bangkok. They do it all the time. And the odd time, he had offered to take Harry down because he's got a grandson with him. He'd offered to take Harry down in his smart cab, which means smart cab, the back seat is tiny, but to be sitting in the front, and he's after drinking Leo. He can go and, where are we here? Chill Will, great thoughts. When you have kids, there's a lot of things that we have not signed up for. It's a labor of love. Your videos help with the recharge. Yes, one of the you see, having a kid at 60. Well, Harry was born when I was 54, so he's 6. But I was thinking to myself, well, what the hell are we doing? Now she wanted Harry. Well, she wanted. I won't say kid. She wanted Harry. She didn't know it was Harry because it wasn't born. But she wanted a child. She wanted a child because of insurance for the future, because there's damn all social welfare here, and that's one of the reasons Thais have kids, as probably a lot of people in the West do, but it's not it's not a big deal. You're not going to be looking for your child to support you. They do. And Harry is her insurance, because she had often said to me, what will we do in the future? What will we do in the future if when we're older, if there's no one to look after? Because I said to her I didn't want a child. I told her for years, the first few years, I don't want a child. If you have a child, if we have a child, I won't be around. No, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. But that was the sentiment. So I'm posting up Buy Me a Coffee again. If you want to do that, please help out the channel. I'd really appreciate it. But that was the reason I didn't. The reason I didn't want to have a child. It was 54, and I knew that obviously when I'm 64, Harry will be 10, and I think that's too old. I'd be lucky. I'd be lucky. I mean, god damn, look at this. I'd be lucky if I'm still, I would say I'll be coherent, but if I'd be fit enough to be an active dad when I'm, say, 75. And when, like, Harry will be, that's what my maths has always been, I'll be atrocious. But Harry will need me for at least for the next 10 years. And in 10 years' time, 10 years from now, I'm 70. Well, I'm 70. So these are things that you have to think about. Colin Campbell, you are the most down-to-earth and genuine YouTuber in Thailand. Pattaya is becoming utterly, totally, completely saturated with them. Yeah, I know. You see, and I'm not going to criticize other YouTubers, but I watch other YouTubers, and I know one or two of them that just go on about soy Pacao, soy 6, soy 4 and Nana, but there's a few down in Pattaya that just focus, and that's all you hear. Soy Pacao, soy 6, that's all it's about. I'm not going to mention the name of any particular channel, but I get so tired of that stuff. I mean, granted, the big picture, people have got tired of the big picture because it's been fairly repetitive. One of the reasons the big picture is repetitive, I do it late at night, like now when Harry's gone to sleep. I can't venture too far away because I got to drive him to school in the morning. So where do I go? This is it. I got John Frères. The new John Frères is open, which is wonderful. Those are the old John Frères a bit further down, which is wonderful. So I can go as far as John Frères. I can go around the Rashna area. I can go into Sukhumvit the odd time. But, where else do you go for content on the big picture? I can't just say to her, I'm off to Pattaya for the night. Not that I would, because I go around with a Canon M50. It's a fairly, on a, where's it gone? Here it is here. There's the tripod. It's a very good tripod, actually. But imagine that holding the camera on that. It's very, very obvious, very intrusive, and you wouldn't be walking around soy 6 or soy Pacao with that. He is live. Carlton, hello, Carlton. But I did that on Nana, and an African girl punched me in the back. She waited till I passed. She gave me a dig in the back. A lot of the other YouTubers go around with these small little things. I've got a GoPro. It's down here. Hang on. It's down here. Is it down? Yeah, I've got it. I got a GoPro, and what I do is I mount the Tascam microphone onto the side there, because the microphone, this is dodgy, and that's a lot less intrusive. But the problem with that is the nighttime settings are adequate, but they're not fantastic. The Canon M50 does a marvelous job, but it's bulky. But this one is good for vlogging during the day or in a well-lit place at night. But the battery is ridiculous. 45 minutes max. I know I can get a second battery for it, but I've been buying batteries for the Canon, buying batteries for this, buying, tripods, microphones. This is like what's it called? A money pit. YouTube is a money pit. The RGB light, of course, they don't last that long. That's a budget one. But I mean, I'm not going to spend a huge money on stuff like that because I don't use it that often. I only use it for streaming. Carlton, what is your opinion on the Africans? Well, I'll tell you. Everyone to their own. I'm not talking about African people. I'm talking about the girls who work in Nana. I wouldn't touch them with a barge pole. Sorry, I'm not doing this during the day either. I haven't been doing that during the day. Just doing it now. It's nice that I'm here. But I can't say too much on YouTube. You got to be very careful on YouTube what you say. But I'll just say the aforementioned girls are very aggressive, and trustworthiness would have to come into that as well. If you go back to a hotel mentioned by suggested by one of them, I heard somebody say that they were fleeced. They were fleeced. Now, I'm not saying that those girls do that, but this is what the feedback I get, and this is what I've experienced. I've experienced a thump in the back from an African girl. I've never had anything like that from a Thai girl. I mean, one Thai girl hit me over the head with a fan. She was fanning herself, and she went, "Get away, get away!" I said, "Okay." But generally, the Thai girls just turned their backs. But the African girls, no girls there want to be on YouTube. I mean, some people say it's because their parents back home will see them, but it's also because they have boyfriends that they're getting money from abroad, and they tell them they're working in a shop. Carlton, how are they able to stay and work there? We see this is it. And again, I can't say too much on YouTube, but read between the lines here. There's Russian girls in a nightclub in Pattaya, and you can't, the law here where Thai people are only allowed to do certain occupations. Let's say a backhand in tennis, backhanders, let's say, to certain institutions. Okay, that's what I think. Well, it's the only way I think it works. Vlogged off, that's a great handle. Vlogged off travel vlogs. Awadi P, my best wishes from New York, and thanks for your work. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's wonderful. I've been to New York. I love New York. New York is not the USA because it's got its own character. Los Angeles is not the USA. Chicago is not the USA. These places have their own character, and New York has a. I felt warmly welcome in New York. I was there on a Paddy's weekend, 2002, for 4 days, and I just felt I felt at home. I did. I really did. I felt at home in New York. Where were we? Or I hate to say this, I am black, but I'm not African. I have never met an African woman that was not a sex worker in the past in that part of the world. Well, I'm not saying anything bad. It's I'm not saying anything derogatory about anybody. I'm just pointing out that the girls that work in that, in my experience, have shown animosity and aggression towards me. That's a fact. Carlton, women in the West harbor animosity towards men. They do. They really do. Absolutely. And Thai women are so different. Chinese women, oh geez whiz, lads. Chinese women are a breed apart. They are so curious. Thai girls aren't curious. Chinese girls are curious. Look at those two Hong Kong girls I met. I know they're not Chinese, well, they're Hong Kong. I met them on the last video I put up on the big picture in John Freyer's 2. And it's at the start of the video. We're talking to each other. They were curious. She asked me questions that I've never been asked by a Thai girl. Thai girls, Thai people in general aren't inquisitive. It's to do with the education. Define curious. Well, I could just say that the Chinese girls I spoke to the other night were saying how, where are you from? What do you think of Thailand? How long have you been here? Lots of pertinent, relative questions. Thai girls don't. They just don't. I talk to Thai girls in Wigwam Market or whatever it is, and I get I ask them the questions, but they never ask me. They'll ask you, the odd one will ask you how long you've been here, but that's the extent of it. That's the extent of it. But curiosity isn't a feature in Thai culture, because Thai kids are told in schools not to interrupt the teacher when he's teaching. It's impolite, so they'll never ask questions. I know that. I was a teacher here for 3 years. They never ask questions. We've 76 people in the house. That's wonderful. Thank you so much, lads. What did the girl from Hong Kong do for work? She said she worked in finance. The two of them worked in finance. That's what she said. I think she said we're financiers, or they work in finance. They were so nice. They were really. She wasn't the most attractive girl in the world, but listening to her talk, she was very attractive in herself, and her friend too. They were looking for a bar. They wanted to go bar hopping. That was on Monday night. Um, she was very well versed. She was, Jay, very, very well versed, and her voice was very seductive. If you remember the way she spoke, very, very seductive. I saw them taking photographs of each other, and then they sat down on that picnic bench, and I just sat down beside them, and I had a Leo, and I said, well, if I don't ask them now, this is an opportunity. So I just had the camera there, and I hadn't got the camera on, but I just said, do you mind if I just, I'm a YouTuber, and I told them, yeah, they said, okay. I just held the camera like that, and we spoke. She was very well versed indeed. I will do that ongoing on the big picture. Go to places like that, sit down and engage with people. I think it's more engaging for viewers as well. Lads, we 69 people in the house. Well done. 24 likes. Click that like button. Let everyone know we're here. I'm looking forward to tomorrow being a normal day, where Harry goes to school, she goes to work, and I can do whatever I do, which is edit videos and do a bit of teaching online. Brian Barbarich, Happy New Year from Durban, South Africa. Thank you for your content. It's a very happy new year to you indeed, Brian, and thank you for your support. Never been to South Africa, never been to Durban. The only part of Africa I was ever in were the Canary Islands. I know they're part of Spain, but they're off the coast of West Africa. That's the closest I've been. I'd love to go. I'd love to go to South Africa. Where would I like to go? I'd like to go to South Africa. It's a place in Africa where I always wanted to go. Ethiopia. I'd love to visit Addis Ababa. It's just, I don't know what the attraction is. It's just a very different kind of place. And of course, Ethiopian women are probably one of the most beautiful women in the world. Bar none, almost. Lebanese women, when I lived in Dubai, Lebanese women, they were so sultry. Their eyes, black eyes, very dark brown eyes, but they would buy and sell you. They were real sort of, looking for the money. And unfortunately, a lot of Thai girls are like that too. Nepalese, have I ever met? I think I've met one or two girls from Nepal here, but not enough to be able to say anything about. My main surprise, my big surprise was is Chinese women. Their attractiveness, they're engaging, they're beautiful. Japanese girls, you don't see that many here at all. Wigwam is full of Chinese. It's about 50-50 now, 50-50 Chinese Thai. And Carl says, do Western women who visit Thailand change their perspective on men? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I get dirty looks from Western women going out my camera. Russian girls, I met this Russian woman in Sukhumvit one night. She was on her own. She was very, very nice. She was middle-aged, and I just said hello to her, and she turned and goes, hi, like this, as if to say, if I wanted to go for a beer with her, I could have done. But Western women in general don't change their attitude. The Billy Boy, greetings and best wishes for 2025. Same to you, sir. Colin Campbell, for everyone over 60 visiting, especially living in Thailand, health insurance by far is the biggest thing. It's astonishing how many just ignore it. That's for sure. I have health insurance. It's I was ignoring it for a long time, but my wife put pressure on me, and we have it sorted. Because if you wind up here, you won't get treated in a government hospital. You can, I think, if you got a work permit, but you don't want to be treated in a government hospital. And the private hospitals here have fantastic state-of-the-art equipment and service and blah blah blah, but it'll cost you a lot. Where are we here? So John's Garage, happy be my. How is that the girls in the bar can speak so loud? Seems like they are competing with each other. In the bar, hang on. It seems like the girls in the bar can speak so loud. Well, you're talking about girls in bars in general. There's obviously a lot of competition between girls and bars here. Jay-Z, I have known Chintu. Unfortunately, they are a bit selfish compared to Thais. I've really no experience. My main experience is Thai girls. I have a little bit of experience with Chinese. The Thai girls are so narcissistic. They are so narcissistic. I've never seen a race of people that were, maybe it's wrong to call Thai people a race, but I've never seen a population so narcissistic. Her brothers put black dye in their hair, and you'll see motorcycle taxi drivers preeming each other, and fellas squeezing zits in the mirrors of their motorcycles, and girls doing the same thing. They are so into that. It's just it's mind blowing. Jay-Z, great advice, Colin. Yes, great. It's good advice. Jay-Z, what are some good legitimate health insurance companies in Thailand? AXA, AJA, is it AIA, and others? Muang Thai is a subsidiary. I'm going to get a beer out of the fridge. Muang Thai is a subsidiary of K-Bank, and in my experience, Muang Thai is a great company to deal with. Selfie madness for sure. They are mad. I mean, not just the pictures themselves, taking pictures of food. I mean, Jesus, we're on that boat on the river cruise. You probably saw it on was it on Big Picture or Alpha? It was on Alpha. And they were taking pictures of the food. When the boat pulled out of the dock, the buffet was opened, and they all got up and started taking pictures of the food. I said, Jesus Christ. It's just, I don't know. Good evening, lads. Sean Moore, how are you doing? Good evening to you. Jay-Z, food is cold by the time food is cold by the time all the photos have been taken. It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. I mean, going on a trip with her, every 2 minutes you stop to take a photo, stop to take a photo, stop to take a photo. Oh, that wasn't right. Take it again. I mean, it's spoiled. Society pattern. Sorry. Yes. Hello. Socially pattern defect. I haven't seen a woman in weeks. Well, I tell you, come over here. I'm just going over to the fridge. I keep talking. Hang on. But yeah, if you haven't seen a woman in weeks, Jesus Christ, I could probably say I wish I hadn't seen a woman in weeks because of the expense of what I do. If I put this on a cost to sell, YouTube on a cost to sell basis, I'd just breaking even at the moment. That's the truth. That's the truth. Because on AdSense revenue, you're just not going to cut the mustard if you're getting, like on the Big Picture, under 2,000 views per video. Remember, it's a RPM, about $2 or $3 RPM. So you're getting about $10 for 2,000 views, give or take. And you put up 2 or 3 videos a week, it's if you work it out, it's not. You got to be hitting, say, 20,000 plus views per video to be comfortable on YouTube for AdSense. That's why I put a lot of emphasis into buy me a coffee. And I'm not being, I'm not being rude. I just say that's it. There it is. There. Selfie man is for sure. Evening lads from Sean. Food is cold. Yes. Social. Jay Easy. One time went to a coffee place in an airplane. It was boiling hot outside. Before we could go inside, it was selfie photo madness for 30 minutes. There you go. There you go. We went to a farm. You saw it on this channel. We went to a farm there last week in Khao Yai. Was it last weekend? And all they did was take photos. The sheep take photos. The horses take photos. The quads take photos. I mean, Christ almighty. I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is. She thinks there's something wrong with me. She thinks I spoil the days out because I don't like taking photos. It's not that I don't like taking photos, but I don't like taking photos every 2 bloody minutes. And you think I'm exaggerating. That's no exaggeration. It's not every 2 minutes. I saw a group of 4, a boy and 3 girls in their 20s. We went to a cafe in Khao Yai for a brunch. We had a pizza. And I was watching them while we were waiting for the pizza. Fast food here isn't fast food. It takes forever. But we were waiting for the pizza for a good 10 minutes, and they were outside posing for different photos. And as we were eating our pizza, they were still doing the same thing. As we were leaving, they were still doing the same thing. For about an hour, just posing for selfies and photos and fucking crazy. Where are we here? So Jay's retracted that. I haven't seen. So I'm so happy that so many of us there. Was up to 80 people there a minute ago. Voa Visa, hello, how are you? Good to have you along. It's just, what is it? It's just 5 to 11 here at night in Bangkok. Do you pay the girls to appear on your camera? No, never. Never. If I go down that road, that'd be the rock I perish on. I mean, as I said, it's a cost to sell. If I'm earning at the moment like $5 or $6 up to $10 per video, $10 is 300 baht. You bring a girl for a drink and a bit to eat, you'd be paying a lot more than 300 baht. So it just wouldn't be feasible. But I never do. Or did I ever? I bought a few girls a few bottles. Yeah, I did. I bought them a few bottles of Leah. We had what's her name? What was her name? There's a few girls I met that we'd sat down on live streams and stuff like that. I remember Susie Mermaid. Susie Mermaid always paid her own way. She actually paid for me one night in Succumbit. We went off on the Raz doing a live stream together, and she paid her own way. Susie Mermaid's a great old girl. Jay Easy, from my understanding, they believe it has something to do with capturing the memory. It is, of course, but there's a limit to it. I mean, it's completely overbearing. Meaning the photos. Yeah, I agree. I understand. And Visa, I'm a male, 24 years of age, around 188 centimeters, trained to 188 centimeters trained. Do you think I'm able to bring a few of them home when going to that market? Yeah, easily. If you're 24, I used to say 24. Yeah, and you're 188. I'm 183 centimeters. If you're not tall and you're young and you have a little bit of this, you don't need a lot in wig wearing. There'll be flies around shite, as we say in Ireland. They'll be all over you. Absolutely. Kevin. Blean full mesh Golair. So that's Gaelic. Tá cúpla focal a gum. Tá mé anna sásta. So Blean is the new year. Free Mercer. So He's wishing everybody a happy new year, Oscailge, in Irish, my native language. And I should be able to speak tá couple of fuckle go Oscailge. Dahi Magay gan as anam dum Tom in a goni etin. I just gave my name and I said I live in Thailand. And Tommy Anasasta Marata on Quiveen Inish. There you go. Good on you. Guramina Mahagut. Colin Campbell. I'd like to go back. I was first in Pattaya in 1984 when it was a fraction of the size it is now, but it's a long flight and very tiring. Escorts are widely available in the UK. It's local and easy, but the escorts in the UK, like in Ireland, they're very damn expensive compared to the ones you get here. But yeah, Pattaya is. I think everything runs its course. Well, everything runs its course. Pattaya won't be there forever. I don't think it'll be, something will change along the way. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. John's Garage. I married a Filipino and they love selfies. Just as what I think it's an East Asian thing. It's wrong to say it's just Thai. It's an East Asian thing. I get so much criticism from her that I don't do enough with my cameras and stuff to record photos of family events. But when I do the videos up in Clonlawang, Pontootanee, like I did today, that's a historical record for Harry and our family. He concreted that yard on Christmas Day 2023. And I showed him the video on Christmas Day 2024. We were all drinking. The day after, Stevenson's Day. We say Stevenson's Day in Ireland. They say the same thing in Italy. I think you call it Boxing Day in the UK. But I showed him that video. We were all sitting around that bench, the picnic bench that night. I said, there you are. That's when you were doing the concreting of the yard a year ago. Glanced and just looked away. No fucking interest. And that's why I get pissed off at them. But none of them watch my videos anyway. Even though I'm recording it for them. Voa Visa, I'm afraid when they will come to the hotel, put a finger press towards... Oh, well. If you want that kind of thing. Thai girls do that. In the massage parlors here in Huig Wang, quite cheap. You get a massage here for 400 baht for an hour. Throw her 1,000, and I won't go into detail on YouTube, but you're on your belly and they use their thumbs. You can understand. You can read between the lines. Jay-Z, Colin at Colin 1984 must have been awesome back then. It must have been. I was here in 2008. For a brief holiday. This is long before I actually came here. And I was in the Hard Rock Cafe in Bangkok. I was up in the UT. I didn't go to Pattaya, but I wasn't in Nana. But I remember it was very, very exciting. I was living in Dubai at the time. It was very exciting compared to Dubai. So, with the people, so many people and so much activity. It's lost a lot of its innocence. I know that's an obvious thing to say, but it really has. Alan Partridge, I said that before, that's a great handle. Enjoying the stream while sat on the bog, had some dodgy Thai food for lunch. Oh, Jesus. Join the club. I've had many an experience like that. God knows. Socially pattern defect. Hell yeah. I was in Bangkok in 1999 to 2024. My 20s, it was the best time ever. I can appreciate that. There's a certain... You look back at the videos on YouTube of Bangkok in the 1980s and 90s, and you can see Sukhumvit before the BTS was built. It was... Even the girls looked different. Their appearance was different. It was more earthy, I think. Aqua Rock, hello. That's another great handle. Aqua Rock, will there ever be a short of supply when it comes to Thai girls? Never. They're everywhere. They're absolutely everywhere. I could go out there now. I could go down to that market. The later, the better. It's about 11 now. They started selling food again there in all hours. But I was out. Where was I? I was in John Frere's the other night. John Frere's 2. I got a motorcycle taxi. I was going to go home, but I said, drop me off in Wig Wang Market. I just wanted to walk. I can get home from there. It was full. It was that was Monday when Bangkok was emptying out. It was full of Chinese. It was full of activity. I don't think there'll ever be a shortage. I don't think there ever will be, because Wig Wang has been going for God knows how long, and it's evolved because of the Chinese now. But it's just such a vibrant place. It's amazing. You'll never have a dull moment. Thailand has the largest concentration of beautiful women than anywhere in the world. Must be something in the water. Well, I tell you, you hit the nail on the head. But I think the Chinese have a much, much bigger population. So, but they have some amazing girls. But for Thailand, I agree with you. Population 68 million, comparable with the UK. You compare UK girls with Thai girls. I don't think there's any comparison. I'm not saying anything. There are some beautiful girls living in the UK. But if you want to help out the channel, lads, you can click on that link to buy me a coffee. I'd really appreciate it, because I put my heart and soul into this, and I do. I have 3 channels, and I'm always thinking of what I'm going to do next. This evening, I'm thinking where I'll go with the big picture tomorrow. This morning, I woke up, I said I have to do a video for Alpha, but I had nothing in mind. But she suggested, and I was happy enough, and we got it done. I came home then about 2 or 3 hours ago. I put a video up for BPEP2. It's a constant. It's an absolute constant. Aqua Rock. Those traditional Thai girls, hang on. Yeah. Those traditional Thai girls also eat at Western restaurants, or only rice. No. We were in McDonald's tonight on the way home. And in McDonald's in Thailand, you can order traditional rice or Thai dishes. And she ordered rice with chicken in McDonald's, and you get it for half the price on the street, just for convenience. But generally speaking, they like the KFC because KFC is closer to the traditional food, fried chicken. That's the truth. I think I Googled this before. KFC is the most popular fast food restaurant chain in Thailand because it's closer to their traditional food. Pork burgers are available here, but on default in McDonald's, pork burger, and we don't have to ask for a beef, but some of them do. Someone said, you want pork or beef? I thought it was a very strange question when I was first asked, pork or beef. Alan Partridge, I miss Texas chicken. Yeah, Texas chicken closed here in Wig Wang. Is it gone completely? I thought it was just a Wig Wang office. Texas chicken was a great old spot. It was good. But you see, the Thais aren't really into that kind of thing. It's too specific for them. It was in Wig Wang, right beside the MRT station. Great location. But they closed it. Are they closing Sukhumvit as well? Because I have one up there near us all. I don't know if it's closed. But I miss it as well. Alan Partridge. But they closed it down. They closed Texas chicken down in Wig Wang. Did they close Sukhumvit down as well? Is that what you're saying? Jay-Z, KFC is actually good in Thailand, shite in the West. Yeah, because they put a lot of thought and effort into it. They do. There's a lot of they infuse it with Thai stuff, rice and stuff like that. So that's why they like it. Are you smoking? Is that a Thai cigar? Is that what you're saying? It's Chinese. I don't do it often. I don't do it as often as you think, because you see me a lot on live streams doing it, but I don't do it during the day. Socially pattern defect. Thai girls love hot pot. Take them to a hot pot for a hot pot on a date. I'd love to do it. I'd love to do that. Some great suggestions coming in. That would be cool. Colin Campbell. I was in Bangkok in 1984. The bar areas was only along Beach Road and on the beach itself. No walking street, no size 6 or any of it, and had no YouTube. I had no idea what to expect It was unbelievable. See, this is the thing when you don't know what to expect. But now we're completely, and I'll say this for me, you're completely swamped with YouTube videos. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry does Pattaya. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry does Sukhumvit because they don't know anywhere else. If you're married to a Thai, you get to see the real Thailand. You get to, obviously, you get to see the real deal. And I'm lucky I don't rely on content in Pattaya or Sukhumvit. I don't. I go in the odd time and do soy 11. I don't like going to soy 4 for obvious reasons because it's just too edgy. It's too edgy in there for YouTubers. I don't have, my smallest camera is the GoPro, and that's still too big for walking up around there. Question. Okay, Brian Barbarich. Question. Do many young Thai ladies have plastic surgery? Sometimes big differences in looks between mother and daughter. Ethiopian ladies look nice young, and when they look nice young when they get old. Thai girls are big into plastic surgery. My wife has had a bit of it. A lot of the girls in the market, there's a plastic surgery clinic there, Chok Choi clinic. You'll see a lot of the girls coming out with black eyes, the lady boys especially, with black eyes after getting the rhinoplasty. Lots of them wear braces. Those braces aren't cheap. Excuse me. They can run up to 60,000 to 100,000 baht. Oodles of Thai girls wear braces. Again, narcissistic. At Jay's Colin, and Second Road was a dirt road. Jesus Christ. You see, that's nostalgia. That's what you come to a place for. That's what I had envisioned Pattaya to be. You see, I came here in 2013. I didn't really watch a lot of YouTube about Thailand before I came. I had a general idea Pattaya was more earthy, like dirt roads and palm trees beside the beach. And I was there during COVID and all the lights were off. It was grey. It was literally grey. It was walked up Walking Street. There was no one there. There was one bar open with the Russian girls. They were all standing on the street wearing cocktail dresses, and all the other bars were closed. They were so intimidating. Seal the deal. It is from Susie Mermaid. What for this? Yeah, I got this from Susie Mermaid. She was the one to put me onto this, but she's a great girl. SL Kid. Shout out from Brooklyn. You're one of my favorite channels on YouTube. Happy New Year. Shout out from Boston. What am I saying? Brooklyn, Boston, Massachusetts. Sorry. Well, Boston is the largest Irish city in the world. I know one suburb in Boston, Cambridge. I don't know where you're from, what part of Boston you're from, but you're very welcome. You're very, very welcome. It's good to have a fellow Irishman on board because Boston is an Irish city. It should be the capital of Ireland. It should be. We shouldn't have to go for a visa going to the States. We're not going to Massachusetts anyway. That's where JFK was from. Colin Campbell, Jay Easy, yes, all confined to Beach Road and the beach in 1984 with no idea what to expect. It was incredible and much more innocent. Absolutely. Seal the deal. Do you do any lotteries? Yeah, I do the lottery the odd time. I won it twice. I got 4,000 once and about 2,000 the next time back. The Traveler 66. Same from Boston here. Jeepers creepers. There we go, lads. It's great to have you. I really feel an affinity with people from Boston. You know that. Have you ever watched that film, The Departed? You know what I mean. The Drop Dead, what was it? Dropkick Murphys wrote that music. The Dropkick Murphys. That was a great film. And the Bostonian accent is very like the Irish accent. You say car, we say car. I can hear it when I hear Boston people speaking. Man, would you consider moving to Florida if you could afford a nice home there? I would. I'd be in Key West because I like the weather. I was watching the launch of SpaceX from Cape Canaveral yesterday, and because I'm inquisitive, I googled the temperature. I think it was 18 degrees at the time. It was early morning. 18 is too chilly for me. And then I googled Key West, and Key West was about 23. That's about 6 in the morning. Key West would suit me, but I'd say we too damn expensive to live in Key West. Too damn expensive. The Traveller 66, of course. The Traveller 66. Park the car. Yeah, park the car. There you go. It's great to have you, lads. It's great to have you. I've met some people from Boston before, and it was like talking to someone from back home. It's as true as God. It's true as God. Jay Easy. Near Dong Mung Airport, Rangsit is a huge warehouse type complex of a night market. One of the most chaotic experiences ever in Thailand. Motorbikes flying by down alleys, bags stacked up to the driver's neck. Did I pass Klong Lawang Market? Yeah, I only noticed it today. I was driving home. I saw this Klong Lawang. There are oodles of places. There are oodles of places to go here. But you've got to have the time and the freedom. I don't have the time and the freedom. She doesn't really care. She doesn't really care where I go. She asked me, when I said I wasn't going out tonight, she asked me why. But I knew that I didn't want to go down to John Ferrer again. Definitely we didn't want to go to Wig Wang. Wig Wang is very same. There's no variety there. I can't offer variety in Wig Wang no matter what I do. I've done it all there. But park the car, that's great. It's great to hear you. I can hear you talking now as I'm talking. There's a reason. There's a reason we speak the same way, because 70% of people in Boston have Irish heritage. Did you know that the volley of the salute when President Kennedy was being lowered into the ground, the soldiers who fired that were from the Irish Army? The Kennedys invited the Irish cadets over, and there was, I think, 6 of them, 3 on one side, 3 on the other. That was the Irish Army, and they fired the volley as his body was lowered into the. There you go. That's one for the Irish Army. There, a lot of people didn't even know Ireland has an army. We do. Jan, why most local Thai women are actually very shy and introverted? Nothing like the ones in places like Pattaya, Phuket on the party streets. Such distorted image given by Farangs about Thai women. Absolutely. The ones on the street are streetwise, and they do it every day, and they're not ashamed. Well, they're not shy about asking for money. The regular Thai girls are quite timid. And it's great to find a timid one. Hang on. Brian Barbarich. I went to Koh Samui early in the 80s. Only a few bars, and mostly lady bars. Very few places to stay and uncrowded. I'd love to experience. I was in Laos. Laos is probably what Thailand was. It's landlocked. There's no beaches. But if you go to Vientiane, it's quite quiet. There's a bar there, a great circular bar. A lot of guys go there in their visa runs, and it was like the Wild West. It was very, very unspoiled. So if you want that experience, I'd say Laos is a good place to go. It's a much smaller population than Thailand. It's only got 6 million, or is it 7? Well, it's 6 or 7 million. And Vientiane has only got a population of 1 million, and it's a very, very pleasant place to be. Former French colony, and the street signs are bilingual, Laotian and French. La Rue, blah blah, or whatever it may be. Jay-Z, Pattaya and Phuket is the game. It's only a business. It is. It's only a business transaction, and that's the thing about it. When you've been here for a while, you do anything more than once or twice, you start to see through the cracks of it. You know, go with a girl in Sukhumvit or Pattaya or Phuket. You go with them, and they go short time. Who wants to hear that? It's there. It's straight away. It's like a transaction. A young buck can stay excited. I'm going to choose my vocabulary carefully because of YouTube. Can stay excited and perform regardless. But the older you get, you need a bit of intimacy. You need a bit of togetherness and a bit of, bit of, let's say, legitimacy to it. But when they just say short time, you can just forget it. I have no interest in that anyway, but just some of the girls in some of the massage parlors, I'll just say I do promotions for massage parlors. Some of them, you might get a free massage. Not necessarily me. I'm just saying you might get one, let's say. And you get this kind of thing. It's just very mechanical. And they're just looking at their watch and they're wondering what they're going to have for their dinner, More massage shop videos. Thanks for supporting local. I have a message here from the lady who owns Dragonheart. She wished me a happy new year, and she just said it. I won't show you. I'll read it. She says she's just only two people came to her massage parlor from the videos I have done. One of those videos over 150,000 views. You get 20% discount if you mention the Big Picture El Panorama. And she said she only got 2 in the month of December for the 20% discount. The reason for that, she said it herself, the reason for that is it's quite expensive. But the location she's in on Soy 11, the rent is huge. She's on the 4th floor and the facility is state of the art. The jacuzzis are wonderful. The rooms are well decked out. The reception area, lovely couches. There's a bar. It's quite expensive to go there, but our overheads are huge. Not like Cherry Massage. Cherry Massage is on the street. A lovely woman who runs it, her peach massage. It's still good quality, but she's not paying through the nose for the rent. So her massage is half the price of the Dragonheart. You're looking at about $4,000. Peach or Cherry, you're looking at $2,000. Take it from me. I've done the videos there. A little bit of foreplay. Yeah, or that's it. But you don't get that. You don't get that. But I'll tell you what you get. And I'll just say apparently. Okay, I'll just use that. Okay. Apparently. What you get is you go into a hotel with one of these girls. And the minute you get in, she goes for a shower. And then she comes out with a towel wrapped around her. And then you go in for a shower. And you come out with a towel wrapped around you. And it's very mechanical after that. There's no excitement. There's no let's say, there's no curiosity. There's no expectation. There's no, it's just, she showers, you shower, you lie in the bed, and she starts doing what she does. And God, forget it. It's not what you want. A little bit, yeah. Jan, it's funny how the public image of Thailand is such a destination for finding a girl. Well, yes, maybe the bar girls and such, but other than that, most Western women feel very closed off and not easy to hook up. I couldn't agree with you more. Western women, they can go and, I'll say it because you can say it at least once on a video. They can go and fuck off. I wouldn't, as we say in Dublin, I wouldn't piss on them if they were on fire. That's general, lads. If there's any Western women watching, I just say it's in general. We're speaking in general. Jan, much more easy in Africa or South America to meet everyday normal girls, relaxed and very open. There you are. I haven't been to either, but I get what you're talking about. In Thailand, it's just too easy for girls to jump on the gravy train, and they all know it because there's oodles of harangue here, and they all know how they all know how it works. Every one of them. But you can still find the very nice Thai girls as well. Jay Easy, farm fresh is the best. Well, there you go. Farm fresh. That's a very good way of putting it. You can still, there's a website called thaifriendly.com, and it's free. And the free account gives you one message every 10 minutes, but women or ladyboys can message as many times as they want. And if you want to take that 10-minute barrier off, you have to pay, but you can get it free. And there's a lot of girls there just looking for husbands, genuine girls looking for husbands, Thai friendly. Tumblr, the girlfriend experience ends once they step out of the shower. That is so well put. That is so well put. That I couldn't have said it better myself. There's one place here, it's gone now in Wigwang, in the elevator. In the elevator, there's a sign in English and Mandarin, but I presume it says the same thing in Mandarin. It says, your 1 hour starts in the elevator on the way to the room. It actually says that. Your 1 hour starts from here. What a deflation. You know, God, passion killer. But Tumblr, you hit the nail on the head. It's absolutely, you know, the minute they step out of the shower, that's the girlfriend experience is over. She'll give you the eyes. She'll give you all the attention you want in the bar or at the meal or whatever you're doing. But once they get into the hotel room and they're in the shower, it's just a job. And that's for sure. Paste. I'm just going to put this up again. If anyone feels generous, you can help and you can buy me a coffee. I'd really appreciate it. But I can tell you this, lads, I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to call you today. When I got home from Pantutini, I was straight into putting the video for BPEP2, got Harry to bed, and now I'm doing this. Tumblr is one of the most loyal and generous supporters to all my channels, and thanks a million. But that's very well said. If you want to know what dating a Thai girl is like, take it from that, what Tumblr has said there. You'll get the girlfriend experience on, you know, when you meet them and you're in the bar, but once you go to the hotel, she'll have a shower. It's so clinical. She'll have a shower. She'll tell you to have a shower. And it's just like robotics after that. It's about getting off physically. It's just physical. It is just physical. But it's not even as physical as you'd like it to be. It's just, I can tell you stories that would get me divorced. I mean, that's, but I'd like to talk about this. But let's say you could put it this way. I was speaking to the third person or whatever. Or the second person. You could end up in a situation like this where you go to a hotel or go to a room. There's a lot of girls around Wigwang that have rooms and they're on certain websites. You could go to their room and you're the last punter of the day at about 11:30 at night, you see. And she'll just sit on the bed and you're lying there in your towel after having your shower. And she showered before because you've called her in advance to say you're on the way. And she'll sit on the bed, you know, whiling away or wheeling away the time. And then she won't make a move. And then she'll make a move on you, but she'll still keep her distance and she'll just use her love, as we say in Gaelic. She'll use the hand. And I swear to God, they treat you like they treated it's. Look, that's what happens. That kind of thing happens. So if you go to massage parlors or any places like this, go early in the morning because you're to be their first customer. I'm going to get demonetized for this. I'm sure I will. I met an honest local girl from Phuket. She even paid for dinner and came driving with me with her car in another region. Never tried any hookup. Girls just looked from afar. There you go. I told you can get them. My wife has always had her own car. Jay Easy, don't forget the LSTS scam. Go for LT, then went back in the room, can only stay. Oh, this is a long time, short time scam. Go for the long time, then went back to the room, can only stay short time. Have to go home, never pay. Yeah, never pay up after. Never pay out till after. And another thing they do is, if you go to a hotel and you pay a deposit for the room, they can lag behind because they want to collect the deposit. Because I can tell you another thing, when you're checking into a hotel with these, get them to give their ID. Because if there's anything wrong with the room, it'll come back to you if you give your ID. When I say anything wrong, um, but there's a fault to that, and the fault is she can delay then, even though you've paid for the room, it's in her name, and she can collect the deposit, even if it's not in her name. Even if you're the one that provides your ID, they'll still do that. They'll lag behind. Oh, I want to stay here, blah, 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 blah. And then she'll collect the deposit because they won't give you the deposit because she's still in the room. That's another scam. Jay, the moral of the story, find a normal lady with a normal job. Yeah, that's what I did. And I know I always talk about this kind of stuff, but I'm loyal to my wife. She does a lot for me. I involve myself with this kind of stuff. I know it backwards. I know it left, right, and center, the way it works here. And at 60, I've done enough. I've done enough. Or I had a technique that was a lot. Sorry, I had a technique that was not a technique. I told all girls I was broke, and I would have my pick no matter where I was at. I ain't pretty. Muffle law. Well, yeah. Well, if you tell him he's no money, that's a technique that isn't a technique. You're right there, Barry. If you have a nice hotel room, they are going to try to stay all night. Like a fart in my sleep. There you are. Yeah. Well, I've never had that because I more or less met my wife when I first started. So I've never spent all night with any girl in any hotel room. But I've met one or two that would have said something like that. Let's go to a nice place. They'd like to go to a nice hotel because they want to stay there. And that's the way they are. That's the way they are. They take us. Come on, they call us Buffalo. They take us for a ride because we allow ourselves to be taken for a ride. It's so easy. It's easy pickings. It's easy pick. It must be great for them. They see a new batch of foreigners every week, and off they go. Barry. Oh, sorry, Skid Mark. Oh, that's great. That's great. Same age as you, been coming to Thailand for 10 years, would never get involved. I like a bit of fun. Then me time. Then a bit of fun. Me time. Had enough of women now, to chance living with them. Well, that's a great philosophy. Like, if you know where you stand, and you're not going to be falling for the same old scams. You'll be coming around for 10 years. You never get involved. Will never get involved with girls like that anyway. Never, because it's just a drip feed of money. Brian Barberich, does it happen that hotels work with police and they come to knock at your door and fine you when together with a girl in a hotel room? Never experienced that. Never heard of it, but I'm sure it can happen. I'm sure it can happen. The last thing you want is to damage anything in the room. The last thing you want. You've got to be very, very careful. And when you go to the shower, you're as well off to take your wallet and your phone with you. That's. I mean, you might look a bit dodgy taking your wallet and your phone into the shower. You can conceal it somehow, but I would strongly suggest that. I mean, why would you do that? You're leaving yourself wide open. But I've never heard of that. I'm sure that's a kind of a scam. It has to. It'll have to be. I'm sure that's happened. I'm going to grab another Leo. We 78 people in the house with 38 likes. Click that like button, lads. And another thing you can do, just before I'll go for me Leo here back in a second, is you can click that link. Help the channel to grow. We're growing anyway. We're not going anywhere else. We're going up. Get one more Leo out of the fridge here. We'll be sorted. There we go. Mother of God. There's a McDonald's in the fridge that Harry didn't eat. And it's got my name on it. It's calling me. It's calling me. This is only my third Leo today. Colin Campbell these days is literally every guy who supposedly retires to Pattaya, a YouTuber. It's there's a question. These days is literally every guy who supposedly retires to Pattaya, a YouTuber. It sometimes seems like it's ridiculous. There's so many YouTubers in Pattaya. Excuse me. Are there so many YouTubers who use Pattaya for content, or John TN? I just think it's been done a million times. But you see, some of these guys get huge views. This channel gets big views compared to the big picture. And we've got, what is it, 8,000 and odd subscribers, and the big picture is almost 143,000 subscribers. The last video I put up there has 1,400 views in about 24 hours. I put a video up tonight, Alpha Omega, and it's already got that in the first 2 or 3 hours. And the reason for that is the content of this channel, and I'm saying this from one of my channels to the other, I'm not differentiating myself. The reason Alpha is stronger in its interaction and its views is because the videos are different and earthy and true and real. The videos on Bangkok are what is it? The big picture are a little bit the same as the Pattaya vloggers. It's just girls, 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 girls. What can you do? What can you say? What can you do that's different? I'm married. I'd love to bring one of them back to a hotel and show going in the door and checking in and saying good night, we'll see you in the morning. But I couldn't. I can't do that because I'm married. Jan, you can find them, but my observation is that it's much more difficult than some other continents, as Asian people are, as said, very shy and introverted. Girls don't even look at you much, or just stay on. I'll read that again. You can find them, in my observation, is that it's much more difficult in other continents as Asian. Okay, so it's easier in Asia to do it. It is. Well, I in my experience too, it's easier in Asia. It's a lot easier in Asia. Well, jeez, I lived in Dubai. God damn. I was 43 when I was there, a lot younger. And to get a girl in Dubai was goddamn hard. Dubai is full of, every hotel is like a brothel in Dubai. You know that? Well, it was in 2008. And you can pay for it. But to meet a normal girl in Dubai was very difficult and expensive. And all those wonderful things, lol. James JJ. Hello, James JJ. Jan, on phone, but maybe is the new generation not looking for over 35. The new generation, yeah, you used to hear about, come to Thailand, you get a young girl for an old man will get a young girl, but that's gone. The girls in Wigwang are looking for younger guys, that's for sure. That's 100%. Where are we? Barry, so romantic. Hello, Barry. Taxi to Leo, there you go. Years ago in Nana Plaza, had about 1,000 left, was stood on a balcony, and a girl approached me, was asking for 2,000 including the room, told her 1,000 and empty pocket to prove it. I got it for 1,000. Yeah, you can do that. You can bargain with them. Of course. But once you start bargaining with them, you know, it becomes a business transaction, of course. So that's what it is. That's a good question, Brian. Where did I miss Brian's question? I don't know. Colin Campbell, a very good stream. Have to go now. Dark Cold UK. Happy New Year. Okay, Happy New Year to you, Colin. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I hope to see you again soon. Barry, don't want to get set up. No, none of us do. Barry, grease the wheels. Hang on, I'll move the cursor. Grease the wheels soon as you get to the hotel. Absolutely. You've got to be, I tell you, some of them are so centered around money. It just takes all the expectation, all the suspense out of it. It's fucking crazy. You like a bit of suspense, the catch, the hunt, that kind of thing. It takes it all out of it. I would hate to be single in Dubai. Your competition is that oil money. I just have lotion money. Well, I suppose Dubai. We've 96 people in the house. Jesus, that's wonderful. But Dubai, yeah, it's big money. Some of the girls are so attractive. Were so attractive. They were dripping in jewelry and the most expensive clobber. And you'd pay for a meal. There's a bar called Barasti when I was there. Oh, it was full of everybody. It was full of all these high rollers. And if you weren't a high roller, you hadn't got a chance. Taxi to Leo. Any live stream beer lap streams coming soon? Oh, well, I'd love to sit. If that's the thing, I'd love to sit in a bar and do a live stream the way the other live streamers do it. There's a few of them that sit in bars and patio and just sit there with the phone in a cradle, and they're just, the music is playing and they're just showing what's going on. I'd love to do. I could do live streams from many bars around here, no problem. But then you get demonetized because of the music. Maybe you see, if you're getting support on things like the Super Chat or Buy Me a Coffee, it doesn't matter. But you got to be careful of copyright strikes in your channel. That's the only thing I'd be worried about. James JJ, your latest upload was gold. Fishing in that ditch. Great, honest, and funny content. Thank you very much, James. My wife asked me to make that video, and I didn't know where we were going. We were driving up, and I said, "What are we doing?" I actually didn't know. I had the camera in the bag. I got the tripod with me. So I didn't know what we were doing. When I arrived, they were sitting on the side of the road. And I said, "What the fuck is this?" And then I said, "I'll just make a video out of this." And then it just happened because they were walking around that ditch, and it's just a ditch, and they had to cut the weeds away so they could see the water. So basically, you didn't see it all. That was completely covered in weeds at the start, and then as they cut it away, it became clear. And then they got that corrugated iron sheet and put what they caught. Oh, Jesus. And that was dirty and rusty, wherever it came from. They still use asbestos sheets here as well, by the way. They roofed the roof over the kitchen outside in Pontutini with asbestos, corrugated asbestos. And I told them, and they just looked at me and laughed. You know, it's like talking to the wall. James JJ, how long did the fish take to dry out? I didn't stay that long. We came home and when I put the camera there, I had to put the lens filter to its maximum because the sun was reflecting off the corrugated iron. But I would say that was late evening. It probably would take the best part to midday tomorrow, I suppose, for that to dry out. The brother-in-law, his wife, and her mother will eat that tomorrow. Flies and all. Or when I move to Thailand, I will just meet women who are on their job. At least that is what I say now. When I move to Thailand, I meet women who are on their job. Are you saying the women who have a job? In Ireland, say if you're on the job, it means you're a hooker. But I don't know if I'm misunderstanding it. Art Times, were there no snakes in that ditch? I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking exactly the same thing. I'd imagine there were. I'd imagine the guy was in the water is her cousin, her first cousin. Kunjup. He's a really nice fella, a really pleasant, happy guy. He doesn't buy it and he catches it. You know, he lives in that area, but he'd know all about that. But I'm sure there's snakes in that. Our times, there are any things to Taxi to Leo. Any idea would be an idea would be to do a live stream interview with a girl in Wigwang in an outdoor restaurant, split the money raised from coffee's super chat with the girl. Oh, there you go. That's a very good idea. There's lots of open air bars and restaurants in Wigwang. I've thought of this before where I'd offer the girl 300 baht just to sit on camera and we have something to eat. I wasn't thinking of that on a live stream, but that would be a great idea. A great idea. And we can take it from there. That will probably come up on BPEP2 before this week is out. Because I did commit to say that the live streams from Wigwang Night Market will be on BPEP2 because I'm trying to get the watch hours up for that channel to get monetized, and doing live streams is the best way to do that. That's a great idea, Taxi. I will definitely do that on the next stream from BPEP2. Lumpany Live, impressed you are still going after that experience on the first day of the new year. Well, thanks very much. I don't know where I get it from. I really don't. It's 11:45. I'll probably knock it on the head now in a few minutes, but this is the second live stream in 24 hours. Taxi, I think having the girl on the live stream would attract more viewers and get some support. You're 100% right. You're 100% right. I could do it. I have a few contacts in my Lion account there. I could probably orchestrate it, but I prefer to meet one in the market, offer her a couple of bob, 300 baht. Do you want to, or even 500 baht? Come on, let's go. We'll have something to eat. You'll be on the stream. And that would be an investment. And that would be great. And that's a great idea. I made a video on the big picture. I asked Thai girls out to dinner. That's what I called it. And that's got 200,000 or 300,000 views. None of them accepted my offer on the video. But I have on that particular video. But I've had many girls who I've said, what are you doing now? Do you want to go for a drink? And God knows, I've lost count. Some of them go all the way. Majority of them don't. But that's a great idea, Taxi. And that's one of the things I like doing about these live streams. We get interaction, we get ideas, we can move on with. But I'm thinking already now about that live stream is in my head. We'll focus on doing that for the entirety, for the entirety of the stream. When I first go down, I might go down late, might go down about 10:30 because that's when you get them. And just start off with that question. I'm on a live stream. I'll pay you 500 baht. We'll have something to eat, something to drink, and you can chat. If I'm doing that, I'm not going to say I'm going to share the stuff with her because I tell you why. The super chat and the buy me a coffee. Buy me a coffee takes a week to come through. If you try to get it to your bank account, it takes a week to come through. I'd have to give her the money in advance, and she'd be there, and you'd have to, that'd be very messy. I just offer her some money, I'd maybe give her 500, even 1,000 baht and say, there you go. We'll do that. It's a great idea. Great idea. I've thought about it, but I've never committed to doing it. But I'm committed to doing it now because it's been suggested. And thanks, Taxi, for that. Tynes, when is sales tax charged on things you buy? The sales tax is charged at the point of sale here. The VAT is 7%, and it's included in the price when you buy something. So the sales tax is part of it. This was a lovely thing I bought here. This yoke here. Look. This is also a Tascam. And the reason I bought this is because I use a Tascam for talking to the girls. I'm hitting something on the keyboard there. I don't know. Yeah. But I used a Tascam for talking to girls, and the quality of the sound is great. Is the quality of the sound better on this stream than it is with the other microphone? The other microphone is a Blue Yeti. It's a few years old. This is about a week old, and I'm hoping the quality is better. Just let me know. 1 2 1 2 1 2. There you go. James, the guy deserves a medal for effort. I hope this channel grows. Enjoy your Western rants. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. I like doing this because after this, I consider this a very well worth experience. It is. It's a very well worth experience. I get to interact with you guys, and I see the same names coming up all the time across all three channels, and you guys are great support to me. Great. I really mean that. I genuinely mean that, because doing YouTube is a lonely old thing. You see, you get up every morning, and when you need it, I need YouTube to survive. When you need it as part of your income, you have to come up with ideas. You say, what will I do? Where will I go? I can't do that again because I did it the last time. And it's like sales. It's like sales. You're only as good as your last sale. So the video I did last for a big picture, I've got to go again on that theme. But where am I going to go, and how am I going to do it, and blah, 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 blah. The good thing about the big picture is the videos I can cut. I just do a clip, go to another clip, go to another clip. The videos kind of make themselves. It just rolls into it. I'll get to meet someone nice or interesting, and it happens, and blah, blah, blah. But I still think the big picture should be getting oodles more views than it is. I mean, this channel is going great, and it's down to you. It's down to you. And Wake Rider 2025, great stuff. Great stuff. Good to have you. 93 people. 93 people in the house. That's a record. That's a record for any of the channels I have, the three channels. That's a record. There's the buy me a coffee if anyone's interested in that. I'm going to have another Leo, but this isn't even finished yet. I'd love to see that go to 100. That would be sensational for this channel, or for any of my channels. We're 1 hour 36 minutes on, and we have never had 100 people on a live stream for any of my channels. I did have, I think, once on the big picture, but it was a long time ago. Man, did you like living in Pattaya? Did you like living? I lived in Ben Lam Shebang. I never lived in Pattaya itself. And Lam Shebang was okay. But there's nothing in Ben Lam Shebang. It's 20 kilometers north of Pattaya. There's nothing in it. Only karaoke bars. And I was only after moving to Thailand at the time, and I didn't know what Thailand was about. Ben Lam Shebang was just an industrial town. Well, it's not industrial, but it's a port town. Ben Lam Shebang is a port. Thanks to Leo. Coffee on the way. Thank you so much indeed. Thank you so much indeed, Taxi. You are one of my most loyal supporters. You've been with me, as you know, from the very, very start. And that was a long time ago. And thank you very much for your support. I really appreciate it. Our times, why don't they hit the like button? I don't know. We've got 88 people on board. I was hoping to get to 100. 51 likes. Click that like button, lads. It really does help the video altogether. But I'll just say again to Taxi, you've been with me and you know what I'm talking about. You've been with me from the very, very start, and I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. There's a few guys that a few guys that support me on YouTube that have been with me through thick and thin, and you know what I'm talking about there. And I really, really appreciate it. I've made some great friendships on YouTube, and I hope to make many more. I was on the MRT going into Jod Frere's the other night, and I was a guy on the MRT across from me, Paul, if you're watching, from Washington, D.C., and he just came up to me and he says, "You're the big picture." I said, "God damn, it was so nice. It's so I get that the odd time. I get it more in Sukhumvit than I do in Rashida, but I get the odd guy coming up to me on the street or on the MRT or wherever I am. One guy came up to me in Sukhumvit. I was at the ATM, and he wanted me to take a picture with his wife. It's great recognition. It's great recognition. And it's your support that keeps me going. It really is. I said to myself, I go live tonight on Alpha because I know I've got loyal people there. I've got loyal people right across the board. Right across the board. I'll tell you what the itinerary for this week is. I'll do a video for Big Picture tomorrow from wherever I can. I'll do a live stream either Wednesday or Thursday night for BP EP2, and I'll try and get a girl. Thanks to Taxi to Leo for suggesting this. Try to get a girl on the stream, and we'll take it from there. I've got somebody in mind, but it's not a girl. It's a third gender. But it's up to you guys. Let me know if that bothers you. I don't know, but I could do that. But I'd rather go fishing. You've James, have you ever had a negative experience with someone recognizing you in public? I've never had a negative experience with someone recognizing me, but I've had negative experience with some individuals from time to time. A fella came up to me in Wig Wang one night. I think it was Australian, and he knew nothing about the channel, but he said, "Get that camera out of my face." And I said, "Don't flatter yourself. It wasn't pointed at you." And we had an argument. He started effing and blinding and stuff like that. I had another fella who come up to me in Soy 11. I was standing in 7-Eleven. He said, "Have you got a bottle opener?" And I said, no, I wasn't recording at the time. I had the camera on the tripod, but I wasn't using it. He said, "Have you got a bottle opener?" And he was, I don't know, he could have been Australian or British. I don't know, but English speaker. But he had a few beers on him. He's had a big bottle of Leo. He said, "Do you have a bottle opener?" And I said, "No, but I think if you can get a cigarette lighter off one of the tuk-tuk drivers, and you can use the cigarette lighter." And he said, "I was asking for a fucking bottle opener." And that was very in my face. And he had the bottle of Leo in his hand. And I wanted to tell him in the language that he spoke to me in the same way to go away in a certain way. But I didn't, because he had a bottle in his hand. So you get it the odd time. Barry Atkin, they say cannot say the letter R, so they call us Falang. Yes, they call us Falang. That's true. Sean McGoldrick, I'd be interested in working there for a while, tax free. Well, you can, if you can chance it, but not these days, because I've got a Thai tax number, and I have to register for tax this week. I'm registered for tax. So I have to organize my tax. Barry Agat, sorry, Thais cannot say or. Well, they can. It depends where they say it in the sentence. What is it they have with R? Oh God, they can make the R sound in certain things. They can't put an S at the end of a word, that's at the end of the word, but they can put it at the start of the word, Sukkavit, Sawanapum, but they can't say McDonald's, they say McDonald. They can't say Starbucks, they say Starbuck. It's weird. Martin, what is that? My eyesight is great. Martin Pyson, if I ever spot you in person, I'll try to get you a Leo, I promise. Thank you so much. Thank you so much indeed. Taxi Leo, what time are they allowed to start selling food in the market? That's a very good question. They used to be able to sell it from 8 p.m. Then they changed it to 1 a.m. And then the last time I was down there last week on the stream, they brought the trolleys out, they were selling food from 10:30. So I think, like everything else in Thailand, it just changes, and they're not so strict. So I think it's about 10 o'clock now. They start selling the food. When they start selling the food, then you get droves of people. There's droves of them there now. I'm sure if I went there now, there'd be droves. There'd be absolute droves. Sean McGoldrick, what job did you work in Dubai? Was referring to? Yeah, I worked in online recruitment. I worked for an online recruitment called a jobs board. That's what it was. And we used to go cold calling on the phone, and we used to go out to people like Air France or Cisco Systems, big people like that. And they'd be advertising in the Gulf News, and have a full page ad. And of course, the Gulf News would be mega bucks to have a full page ad, or a half page ad, or a quarter page ad. And then you'd pitch the same thing. And we have a global audience, you see, on that website. And that website was part of an Irish website called Irish Jobs. I didn't get the job in Ireland before I came. I went out and I met a fella in a pub. I met the CEO. I met him in a pub. And he said, "Have you ever sold have you ever sold, online? And I said, no. Have you ever sold recruitment? I said, no. And he asked me to put a CD-ROM. That's show you how far back this was. I did a presentation on the CD-ROM. I don't know how I did it, but I got the job. And that's what I did. I was selling online recruitment. I remember going into Cisco Systems, not having a clue what I was talking about, because I didn't understand IT back then. It was, again, 2008. And I remember signing them up for a year's contract, and it was a fraction of the price that it would cost in the newspaper, you see. That's what I was doing. And it was good commission. And I got the apartment thrown in and a car thrown in as well. All the money was pocket money. Excuse me. What time are they? Excuse me. That is catching up with me. As well as that, I'm talking a lot. Ray Ronald, oddly enough, they add the S at the end of the word. Can't say Cass instead. Yeah. They can't say that at the end of a word, like the word in Thai for gas is ga. The word for, as you know, motorcycle is motorsai, because they can't say that cycle that's the way it is. And ice cream, as you know, is ice cream. They can't say ice cream. It's ice cream. Been to Rayong. I haven't been to Rayong. Any thoughts about that area? I was in Rayong once with her. Very pleasant place. Enjoyed it. I would say that's the kind of place I could live in. Very pleasant indeed. James JJ, he needs another Leo. I do. Taxi to Leo. Do you mind sharing what level of salary the missus gets? Oh, well, I'll tell you. It's a 3-figure sum in Thai baht. Not 3-figure. I'll say that again. A 6-figure sum in Thai baht. That's the best way I could describe that. So it's 100,000 plus. And if you're getting 100,000 per month in Thailand, you're on the pig's back. And that depends on sales and insurance and things like that. Martin, I thought some Thais say beach correctly. Beach. I think they can. It's phenomenal. There are certain phonemes that they just cannot pronounce. And it's easier to hear the ones they can't pronounce rather than the ones they do pronounce, because the ones they do pronounce don't stand out. But eye cream is one that you can think of. Ga is one you can think of for gas. If you actually say gas, they don't understand what you're saying. I always say you have to mispronounce English. You have to speak English badly to speak Thai correctly. Wow, it is a good salary, but she's got 2 banks. She's the manager of 2 branches. She works damn hard. Tumblr Rayong auto factories. I didn't even know that. Jay Easy had versus have. Yes. I can't think off the top of my head, but I obviously I hear it every day. The amount of words that are pronounced incorrectly. It's just, I'm using the present continuous tense instead of the present simple. Like, what is it? They use climbing in one of my videos there. They were using ing when I forget what the thing was, but there was a sign on the swimming pool out here. No pet allowed. I went up to the reception and said, "What pet are you referring to? No pet allowed." So I always say they can bastardize our language, but we have to speak their language perfectly for them to understand us, or for them to understand us. But they can do what they like with English. Ray, my girlfriend says team instead of ice cream. Well, I hear ice cream. Maybe it's ice cream. I don't know, but My wife can't say McDonald's. It's McDonald, and Starbuck. No matter how I tell her, Pattaya versus Pattaya. Yes, Pattaya instead of Pattaya. Yes. Tactically, I always ask Thais to say the word shrimp. They struggle. Always a good laugh. I had about a dozen of them all trying to say it, and everyone having a laugh. Um, Good Thais. Could Thais pronounce while? Probably not. The what. I don't think so. I honestly don't think so. John Paul, have you noticed the change in race of tourists in Thailand? First time back since 1 year, and it's been a little India in some parts of Pattaya. Yeah, there's a big change. With Wang, you get the Chinese. Pattaya, yes. And Indian, there's Indians here. There's Indians in Sukhumvit, actually. Lots of them. Jay-Z asked them to say, I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. That'd be a good one. That'd be a good one. John Paul, India is only 2 to 3 hours flight from Thailand. That's right. It's only a hop, skip, and a jump. Myanmar actually borders India, which Myanmar borders Thailand. Ups and daisy. So I'm going to knock it on the head, lads, in a few minutes. I got to get up. It's just gone past 12 o'clock. I got to get up. We haven't hit the 100. I'd love to say I'm going to hang on till we hit the 100, but we got 60 likes on that. But I just want to thank you all for your loyal support. Alpha Omega is very successful and it's growing and it's wonderful. I give my true experiences on Alpha Omega, and it's great. It's a therapy for me. One more hour. It's Crazy Fish. Hello, how you doing? John Paul, Jay-Z, looking guys, they are with the short flight like that. Lucky guys. I'm sure he's saying. Lucky guys, they are with the short flight. 18 hours for Europeans. It's 15 hours. 15 hours from Dublin. Well, it was 15 hours from Dublin for me. We had to stop off in Abu Dhabi for about an hour, and I was smoking at the time, but I knew Abu Dhabi well because I used to live in Dubai, and I knew where to go to get me smoke. John Paul, Jay-Easy, Jeffrey Hunter. Hello, it's good to have you. I haven't seen you in ages. Jeffrey Hunter has been around for a long, long time. It's good to Happy New Year to you, sir. I might crack open one more beer. But if I tell you what I'll do, I'll go. Well, I don't have to go to the fridge yet because I still have this here. It's Crazy Fish. The smoke rooms in the Middle East are awesome. With more airports wish more airports had them. Yeah, I agree. I've been. I mean, the Middle East has a certain charm. I like Arabic music. I like the culture. I can't say the same about Thai. I'm not mad about Thai music because I was listening to what the hell is it? What's her name? I can't think of the name. You know, the usual shit that you hear all the time about Songkran and New Year's, the music playing. Ying Li. You know that song? If you're used to Thailand, Ying Li. What the hell is her song? I can't think of it, but I heard it today, waffling through the air when we were up in that canal. They were still partying from the night before, listening to the same old. The Thais are very insular. It's for her family. It's all Thai music. All Thai music. There's no Western influence whatsoever. And I know that every country has its own culture, but generally speaking, you know, if you're in France or Norway or Greece or wherever, their culture has adopted Western culture. I know it's in the West, but you know, you'd imagine you got a little bit going on. The Koreans have kind of warmed to Western culture a lot more than Thais have, especially in their music. It's Crazy Fish, the smoker. Ray Ronald, yep, you're a good laugh. best for the new year. The very best to you, Ray. Barry, how many calls did you make per day doing sales? Were you successful? I would say in Dubai, I've been in sales all my life. I wouldn't, God, I couldn't remember, but getting past the gatekeepers on a phone call, there were usually Indians or Filipinos, and the way Indians speak English, you'd say, "Can I speak to Mr. Oliver?" Let's say he'd be in charge of HR. You'd be looking for the HR guy because you're in recruitment. And they go, "He's not here at the moment, sir. You can call back in some time. In some time." That's Indians say that. "I'll be with you in some time." What the hell does that mean? But I would probably have made, I don't know, anywhere between 50 and 100 calls a day. Probably, yeah, probably. But I was reasonably successful doing that because we had a great product. They're spending $50,000 on a newspaper ad, and we're charging them 5,000 for global search, and with the backup of a trusted website in Ireland that had already been well established. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, Taxi. Did you ever get any luck with the women in Dubai? I met one woman. I'll tell you the story. This is true, and it's a little bit a hard luck story, but I'll just tell you. I met this woman in Barasti Bar. She was Australian. She was blonde, very good looking. She was in her late 40s, but she had a very good physique, and she had obviously had money. I was talking to her. I forget, this is a long time ago. I forget how the conversation went specifically, but I can remember how it went generally. And she told me she had cancer and that she was trying to enjoy what she had left. And when she told me that, I was obviously a bit taken aback. But she was very, very into continuing the night. Like, and did we go to her room or my room? I couldn't tell you. We went to either one of it. Wasn't a hotel. It was either her room or my room. I think it was her room. And we had a drink in her room. And this is where we're talking about the girlfriend experience. It was just so nice and honest. And we did the biz. That's one night I remember being very lucky in Dubai. That was just a once off. But when she told me that, I'd never been in that situation before. And I didn't want to seem as if I was taking advantage of the situation. But she was very insistent. And I just said, well, what the heck, you know? That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. But that's the answer to your question there. That's a memory I've had from Dubai. Very lasting memory. John Paul, the Isan music cuts through your brain after more than an hour of listening. It's so listening to it. But I have to say, Thais do know how to have a fun, but they do. The Thais know how to have a party, but you're dead right about that music. It's so repetitive, and the style is always the same, you know, and it's just so goddamn. And the way they do it, they were doing it last night. They were going like this. Jesus Christ Almighty! It's just, it just drives me mad. That Isan music cuts through your brain. That is so well said. That is so well said. That's not being disrespectful or being derogatory in any way, shape, or form. Isan is, having Isan girls, they are so synonymous with Thailand. You know, that's where the beautiful girls come from. Actually, my brother-in-law is married to an Isan girl, and she's in her 60s, and she has a body to beat the band. I mean that. She is just like she's like a gazelle at 60. It's crazy fish. Do you think the attitude of Thais towards Farang is changing? I think the younger generation, obviously the girls I meet in Wig Wang, the younger generation that I meet in Wig Wang are just so more advanced in their knowledge and experience. Actually, I'll rephrase, I'll say that again. Their attitude is different, than the older gen, than her in-laws, let's say. They're more understanding of Western culture because they've been exposed to it. But their inquisitive nature is exactly the same as the older generation. They just don't. They're not curious. I interviewed a girl, and I asked her, do you have a boyfriend? She said, yeah. And where is he from? She said, Israel. I said, great. And I said, Tel Aviv. And she looked at me as if I was saying cheeseburger. She went, huh? She didn't know where Tel Aviv was. And not, you see, what I'm pointing that out, the reason I'm pointing that out is she's going out with this guy. He's from Israel, but she didn't ask the next question, where are you from in Israel? And that's the same for me. They know I'm from Ireland, but they have never asked me one goddamn solitary question about anything. My wife doesn't even know. I've made a video about this. When I asked her to point out Ireland on a map, she pointed out, the Brits call it, the British people call it the Falklands. We call it Las Malvinas, off the south coast of Argentina. And when I pointed out her mistake, she didn't even care. So that's what drives me crazy. The lack of curiosity from Thais. The lack of they don't really care. They're just, the music, for example. It's just Thai. It's just Thai. It's so insular. This place is one of the most insular places I've ever lived. And that's part of the attraction. You have that's part of the attraction. So I think that the attitude is changing to a degree, but generally speaking, they have the same kind of outlook. Younger Thais travel more. Younger Thais, obviously, because they're exposed to social media. But they only go to Singapore and they go to Japan. Very rarely you meet a Thai, and I've met a few girls that have gone to the US on a student exchange program or something. But you meet a few. Actually, the Thai girls are very good at looking after you, but don't expect an intellectual conversation unless they are very well educated. 150,000%. You hit the nail on the head. I have never had, say, a constructive, inquisitive, rewarding conversation with a Thai. If you want to talk about world events, you want to talk about the wildfires in South Australia at the moment, you want to talk about the politics in Brazil, you want to talk about Trump and how he's going to interact with China and Ukraine and Russia going forward, there's no way you could have a conversation with a Thai about that, because they just don't have the interest. That, I mean, maybe you'll find once in a blue moon, but generally speaking, they have no idea and no interest. Taxi says Thai girls are very good at looking after you, but don't expect an intellectual conversation unless they are very. That's right. Jay Easy, ask a question where you provide them a choice for an answer. Excuse me, and they say yes. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's it. Richard D, it's very hard to have a deep, meaningful conversation. It's a struggle. I've never had a deep, meaningful conversation with her in there. Never. That's the way it is. When you hear them talking together, Thais talking together, they throw in a lot of numbers. Haloi, Loidio, Yisip, Hasip. They throw in a lot of numbers. So I don't pick up a lot, but they're talking about the price of cabbage. It's very superficial conversation, most of them. It's very fucking superficial. But then again, if you look at Thai literature, again, I'm not being negatively critical, I'm just saying there isn't an awful lot of Thai literature. There isn't. And whatever. Why did I say that? I just say that because they're not interested. If you were single if you were single with no family, where would you relocate to? Southern Europe, South Spain. Reason: no visa required. I have an EU passport. Southern Europe, south of Spain, south of Italy, south of Greece. Straight away, straight away. Get a caravan or a trailer, as you call it in the States, two berth. Uh, Go to the south of Spain, teach English online, and stay in my caravan and wake up dead one morning, and that would do me. Uh, Jay Easy, agree taxi. The girls, great to have a laugh with too. You just have to take them for what they are. Exactly, exactly. Wills, happy New Year, mate. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to you, all of you. It's crazy fish. The standard of English is so low, considering that it's a tourist-based economy. I've said it a million times. It's a great, well said. It's crazy fish. Neighboring countries don't butcher the English language, e.g., where where you go. Yeah, you're 100% correct. Based on the fact that Thailand relies so much on the tourist industry, how come they're so crap at speaking English? When you go to Vietnam or Laos, I've been there, or Cambodia, the standard is so much higher. It's just incredible. It's just why wouldn't you invest in your most one of the most critical um, invisible exports, because that's what tourism is. It's an invisible export. When COVID hit here, it really hit home. The tourist industry collapsed. I think the tourism industry, you can Google this, I'm probably wrong, but between related industry, directly related industry, and indirectly related industry, um, the sex industry in Thailand is represents 30% of the GDP. If you're looking at hotels and restaurants and all the things that feed into it, let's say the tourism industry. I shouldn't say sec, but let's say but that's what a lot of it is. But the tourism industry represents about 30% of the Thai GDP. And why the hell can't they speak English? It just doesn't make sense. But that's the way they are. They're so goddamn insular, and it's not a negative criticism. It's a fact. It happens to be a fact. It's a statement. It's nothing wrong with being insular. If you want to be insular, be insular. But you just have to ask, would it not be better to improve your prospects by being more fluent in the international language? Happy New Year to you, Wills. It's crazy fish. The standard of English is so low considered. Yeah, we have. So listen, lads, I'm going to knock it on the head now, because I got to get up and get Harry off to school in the morning. I just want to say thank you so much for your support. I really mean it. That's one of the reasons I did this stream tonight, was to thank you and to wish you a happy new year. Christian Santiago, handsome traveler, always a good time listening to your live chants. Thank you very much. Socially pattern defect, that's what makes Thai girls great ID, rather than not hear their opinions. That's what makes Thai girls great ID, i.e., rather not their opinions. The Thai girls are not interested in our opinions. That's for sure. Jay Easy, good stuff. Taxi, a happy new year to you all. Happy new year to you, Taxi. Thank you, lads. I've got a knocking in the head. It's 20 past 12, and she'll probably get on to me. So what the hell are you doing all night? So Jeffrey Archer, I've been a fan of yours for 3 years. You have indeed, Jeffrey. And it's great to have you there. And thank you so much. And a happy new year to you and all your family. Jay Easy, thank you so much. Hang on a second. We just had a cha-ching. And that cha-ching comes in from Taxi. Thank you so much. Taxi has just bought me a coffee. Thank you so much indeed. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. So listen, lads, I'm going to knock it on the head. I've got to drive Harry to school in the morning, and I've got to get me tidy up this mess here. I've got Leo cans here and lights and stuff like that. And full stream ahead. That's well said. That's well said. Well said. Listen, lads, I'll go on. Thank you so much. And I'll see you again very soon. Great suggestion, Taxi to Leo, about, sitting down with a girl on a live stream. We'll get that sorted, and look out for that over the coming days. Take care. Are we there?